Adrian. Good afternoon, everyone. A special day in the Wembley Sun lies ahead. For Peterborough United, the chance of a fourth Wembley win from 4 appearances, and Darren Ferguson goes in search of a hat-trick of EFL Trophy triumphs across his playing and coaching career. This is Wickham's 4th visit to the National Stadium since 2015. Their manager Matt Bloomfield, a club legend in his playing days, has seen the agony and ecstasy of both defeat and victory under the Wembley Arch. Can he lead Wickham to their first trophy as a full-time professional club? Here are the two teams. Peterborough steering goal, Katongo, Knight, Edwards and Burrows, Kiprianu and Collins, Randall, Poku and Mason Clark behind Jones up front. For Wickham, Rabbit Soli the goalkeeper, Grimmer, Lonvike, Farino and Leahy, Scowen and Butcher, McCleary, Potts and Sadlier behind Kone up front. Wickham are in their change kit. It's a 30th anniversary commemoration kit of 30 years in the Football League. Green and white striped shirts, dark green shorts and dark green socks, and Peterborough are in their home colours of royal blue shirts and shorts and white socks. Really, even though Wembley is under half full, quite a deafening atmosphere already here today. 23,000 from Peterborough, 15,500 or so from Wickham Wanderers. Adrian Clark, former Southend and Arsenal winger, with me in the commentary box. It is a great occasion, the EFL Trophy final, every year.
It's a wonderful occasion, and you're right, the noise is incredible. Every supporter inside the ground is thrilled to be here. You know, this is as good as it gets for followers of lower league clubs, and to see your team potentially lift silverware at Wembley come the final whistle here this afternoon, it's just so exciting for everybody involved as the ball gets delivered on one of those giant remote controlled cars. It was set for a really interesting game as well. Peterborough have to be considered favourites. They've got so much more firepower than Wickham Wanderers, but in a one-off game we all know anything can happen.
64 teams whittled down to just 2. Peterborough in a huddle away to our left, Wickham in a huddle to the right of the halfway line. Our commentary position is just inside the Peterborough half, about 15-20 yards to the left of the halfway line, and Peterborough fans at the east end of Wembley, lots basking in the sunshine. It's a lovely spring afternoon, classic sort of cup final day, and you hear the roar. A chance of silverware for either Peterborough United or Wickham Wanderers. The 43rd EFL Trophy final about to get off and underway, live and exclusive to National Radio right here on TalkSport 2. Peterborough will kick the match off from left to right. Joel Randall will take the first kick of the EFL Trophy final, and Wickham Wanderers playing from right to left. So both sides attacking the end that houses opposition supporters. Peterborough, as I say, in the blue and white, and Wickham in the dark green and white. There are a couple of balloons that have drifted onto the field of play. The match referee is Scott Oldham, and at just gone 4:30, the referee is about to blow his whistle. I can see Matt Bloomfield and Darren Ferguson standing on the edge of their respective technical areas, both in tracksuits, and the EFL Trophy final begins. Peterborough go back to the feet of Edwards, who is an outstanding young defender, and I'm sure we'll get a Premier League move at some point soon. Burrows in the left back position, and now the ball teased all the way back to the feet of the goalkeeper Jed Steer, who's got plenty of experience in playing in Championship playoff finals on this ground. Poku back to Knight, formerly of Wickham Wanderers. Knight, the elegant centre half, crossfield ball, not particularly elegant, the pass, and out of play for a Wickham throw, far side their right. As we mentioned before the game, Adrian Clark, it will be something of a clash of styles here today.
Yeah, Peterborough United make more passes than any other side at League One level. Wickham Wanderers are a team that average below 40% of possession. Already you can see they've set their stall up. They're not going to press high up the pitch. They're going to let Peterborough have it and try to frustrate them as often as possible. And early on there with Josh Knight playing a pass out of play, he was a little bit impatient. I think patience is really going to be required today.
Replica shirts and scarves all around the stadium, and Peterborough have possession again with Poku. Back to Kiprianu, the tall defensive midfield player, Cyprus international, and now Edwards steers the ball out to the far side, the left wing position, and a first opportunity for the 19-goal left front Mason Clark to come into the game. What an outstanding player he's been for Peterborough United, and he will make his move to Coventry at the end of the season, loaned back to Peterborough for the rest of the campaign, having signed for Coventry officially in the winter window, this Peterborough side is full of goals, and 3 wins from 3 in their previous appearances at the National Stadium. Wickham's record, certainly recently, is much patchier. Mason Clark's ball in field towards the opportune Randall, but he's dispossessed. Wickham scramble the ball clear towards the halfway line. Freddie Potts, son of Steve, on loan from West Ham United, is fouled, and Wickham have a free kick midway inside their own half the field, playing from right to left. Most of the Wembley Stadium pitch is in shade now, and 2.5 minutes into the EFL Trophy final, it's Peterborough 0, Wickham 0.
Yeah, interesting start. Peterborough, as expected, bossing possession. Just thinking about Will Randall, I think he's got an important role to play. They're looking to shrink that space between the midfield and the back line, Wickham Wanderers today. Can he, as the number 10 for Posh, find pockets of space to impact this game?
Leahy's clipped the ball long and high downfield from the Wickham free kick. It's only cleared as far as Chris Farino, the centre-half, who thunders the ball out of play, and it's a goal kick to Peterborough United, away to our left-hand side. Farino and Lonvik are the 2 Wickham centre-halves. Slender and very powerful Ryan Tapazzoli, formerly of Peterborough United, left on the bench today. Joel Randall is playing in a much more central position, with Poku out on the right-hand side early on here. Mason Clark has dropped into his own half, and now Edwards out to Harrison Burrows, who has been with Peterborough since he was a young boy, just 6 years of age. Header away by Collins towards halfway, and out of play it goes, and it's a Wickham throw out on the far side there right. It's a cagey opening 3 minutes to the final so far, but tremendous noise being made by both sets of supporters all around Wembley Stadium, and neither Darren Ferguson, who won this trophy with Wrexham as a player and as a manager with Peterborough United 10 years ago, nor Matt Bloomfield, a rookie manager really in comparison, have left that position, statuesque on the edge of their own technical areas here. Is the onus on Peterborough, Adrian Clark, to come out and play?
Well, I think they will come out and play. That's just the way that they go about their business under Darren Ferguson. I think that Matt Bloomfield will recognise that and accept it and look to play a different type of game. That's a little bit frustrating there from Ronnie Edwards. A little bit of a mix-up between himself and Harrison Burrows. Haven't really settled yet, I would say. Peterborough United in possession. 1 or 2 loose passes already. Players holding onto the ball a little bit too long.
Manchester United 0, Liverpool 1 is the latest score from Old Trafford in the Premier League, so Liverpool are heading back top. We'll bring you full commentary of Tottenham against Nottingham Forest over on TalkSport later. Make sure you download the TalkSport app. You can swipe between both stations at your leisure, and we have 60 games now live in the month of April alone. And then, of course, May, the final month of the regular season. Playoffs as well. TalkSport 2 is your home of the EFL. Surely a shove in the back from Wickham's right back Jack Grimmer, deep inside the Peterborough half on Mason Clark, and it's a free kick to Peterborough, and actually the tempo of the game is quite slow early on here, 0-0.
It is often the way in nerve-wracking showpiece events like this. I said ahead of kick-off that Peterborough want to make the pitch as big as possible, feel as big as possible for Wickham, and you can see that whenever they have the ball. You've got Mason Clark chalk on his heels out on the left-hand side, the same with Poku on this right, really stretching play as much as they can.
Up against the Wickham side, they've lost 2 of their last 3 trips to Wembley, both in playoff finals, and the one victory in that time was in 2020 in the COVID-interrupted half-season. So no fans were here to see Wickham win at Wembley that day. They haven't been here to see Wickham at Wembley since 1994. Peterborough with an unbeaten record here. Goalkeeper Steer has possession, all in pink, and forward by Burrows towards Efren Mason Clark on the halfway line. They must have had 80% of the possession, Peterborough. Josh Scowen, though, with typical tenacity, wins the free kick for Wickham, just inside opposition territory. I tell you what, they kept his inclusion quiet, Wickham Wanderers. My information was that he was unlikely to play. Gareth McCleary likewise. I can tell you that only 2 or 3 people intimately involved with the first team staff knew that both Scowen and McCleary would start today for Wickham.
Well, it shows how tight they are as a club, doesn't it? No moles in Wickham's camp then. Look, I don't blame them. I think the longer you can keep these things secret, the better. Josh Scowen is a really good player at League One level. He might just be Wickham's best player I think he's such a tigerish presence in the heart of that midfield. Good with the ball, but also very good without it.
Free kick floated high downfield by Leahy towards Richard Kone. Peterborough deal with that. It'll drop to Grimmer, who scored at Wembley before. Lovely little touch by Lonvik, square towards Kone, but he was blocked off by Burrows. And now Peterborough, with their pace and elegance in the attack, bursting forward through Mason Clark towards the halfway line. Fast out of the field. Grimmer tracking back out of play. Peterborough United throw 0-0 in the EFL Trophy final on TalkSport 2 as Manchester United equalise against Liverpool. Bruno Fernandes is on the score sheet, and a fist pump from Adrian Clark, a neutral as far as today is concerned, but not in the Premier League title race. Arsenal will stay top, Clarky, with the score as it is.
Yeah, it's not going to stay like it, is it? It's not going to stay that way.
1-1 at Old Trafford and 0-0 at Wembley. Wickham on the attack with Sadlier. Got a great record against Peterborough. Goes for goal right-footed from 25 yards. Blocked easily by Archie Collins. The ball flies towards the centre circle. One back by Grimmer for Wickham Wanderers. Steers it square to Scowen, who's got McCleary hugging that touchline on the far side, the right, with the green boots on, right in front of the massed thousands of Peterborough fans. Back now to the halfway line, and Potts finds Farino. Square ball to Nigel Lonvik, who's on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now Leahy, nominally a central midfielder, but has largely played left back or even centre back for Wickham this season. Farino hoists the ball up the far side towards McCleary. The tackle comes in from Burrows. Throw to Wickham, who are having a good spell here.
Yeah, look, it's important that they look after the ball as well and give their defenders a little bit of a breather. I think they'll be delighted. I think they've settled into this game a little bit better than Posh. Wickham Wanderers knocking the ball around with confidence, and physically they've asserted themselves pretty well in these early stages.
Good turn by Sadlier, going on the outside of Katongo. Katongo gets back well. The 19-year-old England Youth International on loan from Manchester City pokes out his right foot, steers the ball out of play. Wickham throw level with the edge of the 18-yard box here.
Yeah, it's a good duel that in the making. I think Katongo, he'll be nervous, no doubt about it.
Leahy, left wing position, whips in the cross, Scowen trying to get underneath it, headed away by Burrows. It'll drop down for Grimmer, cushion header to the right, and McCleary. Burrows gets the tackle in. It is a slightly nervy 2 or 3 minutes for Peterborough United, though we haven't seen a clear-cut chance at goal for either team just yet. We've had 9 minutes and it's still Peterborough 0, Wickham 0. The 43rd EFL Trophy final. Bolton beat Plymouth here by 4-0 last year at Wembley. We hope for a slightly closer encounter today. Or do we? 80,000 were here that weekend. There is under half that this weekend, but these are two fine community clubs who generally have been very well run over recent seasons, unlike many clubs that we can speak of in the English Football League, and it's a proud day for both as Lonvik scoops the ball high downfield. We'll get a word from former Southend winger Adrian Clark in just a moment. Edwards comes across to the far side, the left of the Peterborough defence, nudges the ball out of play. Wickham get a throw. Adrian Clark.
Yeah, part of the game plan for Wickham appears to be hitting those long diagonals towards Gareth McCleary. He's trying to stay as wide as possible, trying to pin in Harrison Burrows, who's obviously a player that wants to get on the ball and make things happen. He comes into midfield, he likes to fly forward into the final third. Well, in the first 10 minutes of this game, he really has been pinned back into that left back berth by Gareth McCleary, and at every opportunity Wickham Wanderers are looking to seek him out with those long diagonals.
Lots of checkered flags all around the stadium here, crosses of St George, various branches of supporters clubs for both Peterborough and Wickham. Darren Ferguson not happy, near side of the field. Wickham concede a free kick just shy of the halfway line. The Peterborough boss right in the ear of the referee straight away, and one of Darren Ferguson's assistants on the near side, Kieran Scarf I think it is, having words with the fourth official who's standing. Well, they get a fair set from the referee in terms of how combative Wickham are going to try and be across the course of the 90 minutes or more.
Of their game plan has to be aggression and hostility. You've got to disrupt Peterborough United's flow if you're in the Wickham camp, and they've done a good job of it so far. They're biding their time, but when it's on to press, they're looking to do it. And certainly when balls get played into Peterborough players in the forward areas, they're on them very tight, and they've been strong in the duels.
Wickham do have a good record against Peterborough in recent times, but here comes Poku, always very dynamic and fleet-footed, shuffles it forward towards Katongo, near side the right, down by the corner flag. Back it goes to Poku again, looks up onto the corner of the penalty area, curls one left-footed, and that sails high over the bar. Big ironic cheers from the Wickham Wanderers fans, but better from Peterborough United, and Kwame Poku is one of this very exciting front four that is going to cause problems to any side in League One. 0-0.
Of course he is, yeah. He's been superb this season, can play as a number 10. Today he's out on the right hand side. It's an interesting match-up against Luke Leahy. He's certainly got the pace to go past him on the outside or drive in field, and on that occasion he drops a shoulder, ducks inside onto his left foot, and the space opens up for him beautifully, really. But the execution of the curler aimed towards that far top corner was just a little bit off.
Katongo clears away from the right back position for Peterborough at the other end. Peterborough in blue and white, Wickham in the dark green and right. The change kit. 30 years since Wickham became a professional Football League club, so this would be their first ever trophy at full-time professional level if they can win the EFL trophy today. Sadlier down by the corner flag. He shuffles the ball back to Leahy. Leahy's cross blocked by Collins. Brave block that from Archie Collins. He took that square in the face from a yard or so away, point blank range, and he's gone down, and the referee's going to come across, and rightly they'll go through all of the head injury protocols. There's a brilliant banner behind the Peterborough goal to the left. No Poku, no party.
I like it. Well, let's see about that. But yeah, Archie Collins took one for the team there. He did really well to block the cross, because Leahy's got an excellent left foot. We know that. That's why he scored goals. That's why he's made so many assists. And the only way he really blocks that cross is if he jumps. And he's brave, and he does that, and he takes it right in the face. I hope he's okay. Probably just a little bit shaken up.
Well, they seem to have readied the stretcher, though that seems rather premature. Archie Collins is sitting up. The Peterborough physio is out to treat him, and that gives both sets of players the opportunity to come across to the near side of the field, take on water, take on instructions. You're listening to TalkSport 2 and the EFL Trophy Final. Peterborough United 0, Wickham Wanderers 0. Let's get the view from the touchline early on here with our man Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, as you say, both managers now trying to get some instructions on. I think Archie Collins are just obviously taking their time regarding the concussion protocols, but I think what I'm seeing down here, it looks like he's going to be okay to continue. The stretcher was just brought out, I think, as a precaution, and both sets of players
can't hear loose
now.
At the moment, I don't think. We may try and go back to him in just a second. We'll hear from Ian Abrahams a little later on. Now then, Collins has come across the near side of the field. I think it was his nose that was caught. Archie Collins has experience of winning a promotion at Wembley before. You'd be surprised to hear it, but there are a lot of Wembley links across the two teams in terms of past careers, past promotions. Some have had defeats at Wembley to endure. Darren Ferguson, a winner with Peterborough, of course, the manager in their only EFL Trophy final appearance in 2013-2014 when they beat Chesterfield by 3-1. Matt Bloomfield, who has missed a penalty here in a playoff final shootout, won promotion here with Wickham in 2020, and Collins just waiting to come back onto the field for Peterborough, who'll be temporarily down to 10 men. Peterborough 0, Wickham 0, just under a quarter of an hour gone. Poku trying to carry the ball forward towards halfway, but Scowen is there to win it back for Wickham Wanderers. Back it goes from McCleary to Farina, and now Potts is in the centre circle. Quick ball forward to Butcher, who's been excellent since joining Wickham, having left Plymouth Argyle. And Leahy's ball forward well intercepted by Katongo again. Randall's under a bit of pressure, but that trademark composure as Scowen slides in. Peterborough keep the ball, a really good footballing side, Peterborough United, and Poku rolls the ball back to Edwards, who's standing on the edge of his own penalty area. And now Collins has come back onto the field, and there is a calmness and an excitement about the way this Peterborough team play. Lovely ball forward by Josh Knight towards Katongo. Sadlier gets a tackle in, Peterborough throw.
Look, it's Wickham Wanderers that have impressed me the most in the early stage, particularly in that central midfield. They're working ever so hard. Josh Scowen, Freddie Potts, Matt Butcher. I think they're absolutely winning their duel with the Peterborough United engine room. So yeah, we said ahead of kick-off they'd have to work incredibly hard, and they are. Absolutely they are. Full of running.
Scowen is so key to Wickham Wanderers. Scowen against Collins is one of the key matchups, you feel, of this EFL Trophy final today. A very quiet opening in terms of clear-cut chances, and Knight has overhit that pass down the near side, the Peterborough right, the Wickham left, and Nigel Lonvike will come across and let it trickle behind out of play for a goal kick to Wickham, and their goalkeeper Franco Ravizzoli. Max Striek was the hero of the Bradford City semi-final, whereas Peterborough were much more comfortable in scoring 3 without reply at Blackpool. Couple for Harrison Burrows, who for a left-back who does like to get forward, and 9 goals this season in all competitions is a very impressive tally, but neither goalkeeper has come close to getting those gloves dirty yet, Clark.
Yeah, it's been a little bit tame, hasn't it, in terms of final third action. I'm sure things will liven up. This is a big occasion. You've got to take that into account, and I think the Wickham Wanderers in particular have said about containing Peterborough United. I would say that from the Posh point of view, they've got to look to get the ball forward a little bit quicker, play at a slightly higher tempo. At the moment it's a little bit too easy, I'd suggest, for their opponents to shackle and contain.
Here is Jed Steer, the Peterborough goalkeeper. Forward to the feet of Edwards. There are already Peterborough and Wickham subs warming up down below us here on the near side touchline, the near side of the field. Quite leaden-footed, the pace of the game so far. Rarely have Peterborough in particular been allowed to get the attacking players into the game, and Edwards has been caught trying to race on the defence. McCleary on the counter for Wickham Wanderers, wide to Richard Kone, caught on the penalty area, he's into the box, he's curled it left-footed, it'll come to Sadlier, lays it back to Matt Butcher. Big chance for Wickham over the top. Butcher, who has been in great goal-scoring form, left-footed curler, nowhere near the target, and Edwards, who is an outstanding centre-half, gets away with a rare mistake. Still 0-0, 18 gone in the EFL Trophy final.
It is a chance for Butcher. He just leans back with the strike. He's very casual with it. He strokes it left-footed, aiming towards the top corner, gets underneath it, and it's never really troubling the Peterborough goal. But that comes from Ronnie Edwards trying to take initiative, trying to drive forward and create more drive, more tempo. He ran out of patience there, Joe. He thought, I'm going to take it upon myself to run the ball upfield. It's a gamble, and McCleary takes the ball off him, and the chance comes about. So little lesson there for Peterborough United, that they can't afford to take liberties.
Only 21, Ronnie Edwards. Matt Butcher, 3 goals in his last 3 for Wickham. Good slide tackle by Potts on the halfway line for there. But Mason Clark is tracking back effectively and diligently for Peterborough United, who have the ball again in between the 2 centre-halves. Edwards and Knight almost equally comfortable on the ball. Knight, formerly of Leicester City, out of defence to dink it up the near side, the right channel. Too much on that for Katongo again. Sweep clear away from Nigel Lonvike, and then scoop forward by Leahy up the left-hand channel towards Kone. Kone has got away from the defender. He's burst into the box. He chips it back across, and Scowen was there but couldn't get the vital touch. Brilliant defending by Burrows coming across. Crucial intervention, and Wickham getting closer and closer to scoring the opening goal. Live on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, it's magnificent from Burrows on the cover. It looked like it had goal written all over it. Superb from Kone down the left-hand side. It's one long ball played down the channel, and then he stops and starts Knight. He stops and then accelerates past him. He buys himself 3 or 4 yards of space. The ball is good, but the defending is even better.
Long throw by Leahy towards Farina, who's come forward. He flicks it on. McCleary steers it onto the roof of the net. Left-footed on the volley. It's another narrow escape for Peterborough United, and the net did ripple via the left foot of Gareth McCleary, but only the top of it. And you have to wonder, less than 20 minutes into the game, will Wickham Wanderers live to regret these missed opportunities at Wembley?
Yeah, the favourites are rocking, no doubt about that. It's a simple long throw. It's a near post flick on, and Gareth McCleary on the volley gets a good enough contact on the ball, but he can't get his knee over it. It's loops over the crossbar. They have been the better side so far, Wanderers.
Long way still to go though, beneath the Wembley Arch. Peterborough 0, Wickham 0. Richard Kone is a great story, just his 15th appearance in professional football. Cipriano for Peterborough, at the other end, right of centre, wide to the near side, and Poku 1-on-1 with Leahy. He's up to the corner of the penalty area, he's onto that favoured left foot. Lays it back to Collins under pressure. Wickham have got everybody in green and white back behind the ball. Now Edwards, midway inside the Wickham half, steers it forward to the left and Randall forward to Burrows. He's on the left hand into the penalty area, chips in the cross, deflected behind, and Peterborough win the first corner of the cup final.
Yeah, much better from Darren Ferguson's side. It was really interesting when Poku had it 1v1 against Leahy. It was Freddie Potts, the youngster on loan from West Ham United. He got across to double up to make sure there was no way through for Poku. He's going to be such a key man, Freddie Potts, for Wickham this afternoon.
Randall's going to take this. Mason Clark is standing right in front of the goalkeeper, taken short to Burrows, who clips it in high, left-footed. At the far post is Ricky J. Jones. First attempt at a cross is blocked. Peterborough, I think, appealing for a penalty at one point. Wickham maybe wanted a free kick for what they thought was a foul on Leahy. Peterborough get another corner nonetheless at the Wickham end, the west end of Wembley. And it's on this near side of the field now, and perfect for Burrows to try and swing this goalwards with that excellent left foot that he's got. Wickham have got everybody back behind the ball. It's scoreless in the final. We've had 22 minutes. Burrows delivers in towards the near post and headed away by Josh Scowen. Not Burrows' best delivery.
It wasn't, but we know that Peterborough do carry a menace from dead ball situation. I think 16 goals from set plays during the League One campaign so far. That's very much up there at the top end. So these will be nervy moments. We've just seen a long throw from Wickham Wanderers cause all sorts of problems. We're going to see one here or not from Katongo, who's going to get played back in. No, it just goes short.
Simple square ball with the throw to Poku. Back now to Cipriano. Infield to Poku again. He's looked the most lively for Peterborough United in the game so far. Edwards turns away from Scowen in the centre circle. Scowen tearing at him like a man possessed. A man, Josh Scowen, who has won on 3 of his 4 Wembley appearances, but never with Wickham Wanderers. Ball out on the left for Burrows, touches it on to Efren Mason-Clark. 19 goals for the season in all competitions for him. Now Randall with his back to goal. We're going to spin away from Chris Farina. Randall has to dart towards the halfway line, and Burrows again. Goalless it remains, and neither goalkeeper ultimately has had a save to make. Peterborough having probably their best spell in possession of the game so far. Poku's just over the halfway line, just inside Wickham territory. Back to his own half and Knight, and a square ball to Edwards, about 10 yards shy of the halfway line. This is where Peterborough, when they warm up in possession, can be really dangerous. Joel Randall can't reach the reverse ball from Burrows. Wickham are working very efficiently and very hard so far. I guess the question is for Matt Bloomfield, can they keep up that work rate across the course of 90 plus minutes?
It's not going to be easy, that's for sure. They've got a lot of experience on the bench though, a lot of their senior players that could enter the fray during the second half for Wickham if they do blow up. But yeah, they're working so hard. The 2 wide players that we talked about ahead of kick-off, they're dropping back onto the toes of the fullbacks. They're definitely doubling up on them. And that midfield unit, the 3 in there, are just perpetual motion really, not stop moving so far.
Burrows has dinked it upfield, the far side, the left wing position towards Mason-Clark. Little flick back into the path of Burrows again. Great first time cross, it spun off the head of Cipriano, who couldn't quite leap enough to keep the header down. 6'4", stretching, made contact with it, but it loops high over the top and behind for a goal kick to Wickham. First real chance for Peterborough United. 24 and a half minutes gone, and it's still Peterborough 0, Wickham 0.
It's quality play. Efron Mason-Clark, lovely little back heel for the overlapping Harrison Burrows. We know he's got a great left foot. He wraps that left boot around it. He just gets there a touch early for me, Cipriano. Didn't time the run into the box perfectly well. And as a consequence, the header goes over the bar. But Cipriano, not a prolific goal scorer in his career, but got 8 in the league already this season. He's become more of a box-to-box man.
Former Southend winger, EFL expert Adrian Clark with us in the commentary box behind the glass here at Wembley. And there's a goal at Old Trafford that is going to interest Adrian's former club Arsenal. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1. Kobbie Mainoo the scorer, a beauty for Manchester United. Now, was there a foul on Ricky J. Jones on the near side, the Peterborough right? Peterborough fans in front of us up to their feet, they think so. Wickham, meanwhile, able to play the ball out through the defensive third, only as far as Katongo has won it back. Now Cipriano, corner of the penalty area, onto Poku. Mason Clark at the back post. It's teased back to Katongo again. Infield to Randall, who's tackled by Potts. One back though quickly by Knight. Blocks off Leahy on Katongo. Now Knight steers the ball forward. Lovely slide rule pass. Inside right channel towards Kiprianu. Down by the dead ball line here. Peterborough very much in an advanced attacking position. Poku whips in the cross and it's headed away by Butcher of Wickham. Kone tracking back. And Kone was fouled. And that is a free kick to Wickham Wanderers, and Darren Ferguson turns back towards the fourth official.
Yeah, frustration for Peterborough United. I tell you what, the longer this game goes on, the more it feels that Hector Kiprianu is going to be a key man for Posh, because they're so diligent in their defending. They're blocking off those spaces so well, Wickham. They need to create an overload from somewhere, and Kiprianu's got to take it upon himself to gamble and to maybe be that extra man inside the final third. Can he go and join Joel Randall in a pocket and pick up a ball in space? Give Wanderers something different to think about. He's done it 2 or 3 times in the last 10 minutes. I think it's making a difference.
Good header by Kone for Wickham. Back to goal into the path of Sadlier. Left on edge of the Peterborough penalty area. Sadlier looks to dart infield. He's blocked off by the firm but fair, robust challenge of Katongo. He hooks it long towards the halfway line, and Farino will roll the ball all the way back to the Wickham goalkeeper Franco Ravizzoli. Ravizzoli chips the ball long, the Argentine. Chested down by McCleary. Gets the 1-2 pass back from Jack Rimmer. McCleary shimmies infield into the centre circle. Square ball to Leahy near side the Wickham left. So Arsenal will stay top of the Premier League as it stands. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1. Rangers 3, Celtic 3 earlier in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers a point off the lead but with a game in hand. Sheffield United against Chelsea at 5:30. Tottenham against Nottingham Forest will be live over on Talk Sport. Potts sticks the ball through the middle. Great pass from McCleary, who got a touch on it. A glancing blow right-footed. In the end, a relatively simple save for Jed Steer.
It's a wonderful pass. It is sumptuous from Freddie Potts. Just clips the ball over the Peterborough rear guard. The run is good from Gareth McCleary. He makes the run from out to in. It is a beautiful diagonal. We talked about these earlier on. This one's aimed towards the penalty spot. He gets a little flick on it, and the goalkeeper needs to get something on this, and he does.
Meanwhile, at the other end, Poku near side the Peterborough right. He jinks infield onto that left foot, then twists back onto his right again. Left-footed pass back to Collins. Lovely floated ball by Collins, chested down by Katongo. Chance on here! Very nearly an own goal from Lonvike. Stretching it at the near post to turn it behind. Lovely football from Peterborough United. They win a corner. Still 0-0 in the EFL Trophy final. But live on Talk Sport 2, it's really starting to open up now.
Yeah, it's getting much better. This is a lovely triangle. Terrific play. Little chip pass releases Katongo, and he puts it into the right area, that corridor of uncertainty. It's a lovely ball in, and Longvike just has to get something on it, and he does.
Burrows takes the corner short to the near side. It's played back up wide to Harrison Burrows again. He's overhit that, surely high to the far post. Knight trying to get underneath it. Knight has won the ball in front of his marker. Opposite number, the number 5 for Reno. And now Edwards steers it back to Katongo. He's about 40 yards out. Dead centre, urged to shoot. He was a heck of a long way out there. Crossfield ball left to right by Burrows again. Beautifully controlled out of the air by Knight. But his pass is short. Intercepted by Grimmer, who got the touch of Efron Mason Clark. Out of play. Wickham throw in the right back position. Half an hour gone. How are your nerves, Peterborough and Wickham fans at the moment?
Well, my nerves are alright. I don't know how you and Adrian are doing, but it's been cagey, but the game is warming up. I've been really impressed with Wickham's off the ball work, but at the same time I think when Peterborough United quicken things up and they produce those combinations, those triangles and overloads, they do look a quality side.
Wickham fans not happy. Matt Bloomfield arms outstretched after a late tackle from Ricky J. Jones on Lonvike. I think a talking to from the referee is probably about right. Wickham want a yellow card. It's not going to come their way. Is that fair, Clarkie?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Probably. I wouldn't have put him there.
And now Wickham long towards Kone up the middle. Too much on that. Well gathered by the goalkeeper. No fear from Richard Kone so far. And what is a mammoth occasion for him. Former non-league player. Cleared upfield by Farino for Wickham, out of play, into the front row of seats.
What I noticed there is Jed Steer, as soon as he got the ball, bang, he's off. He's rolling it into midfield, and they're looking to spring that attack. I think the message from Darren Ferguson would be, come on, let's play at a faster tempo. If it's slow, that suits the opposition. We've got to do things a little bit quicker, particularly from those kind of restarts, and the goalkeeper set the tone there.
Here is Burrows for Peterborough, far side the left, forward towards Mason Clark, the number 10. Sandwich in between two green and white shirts. He's down by the corner flag here. Couple of step overs, thinks about the ball in field, blocked off by Farino. We've got a half and half scarf in the commentary box. Royal blue of Peterborough and the sky blue, the lighter blue of the Wickham Wanderers. Oxford and Cambridge blue, if you like, in the commentary box at Wembley here today. 0-0 so far. Crossfield by Burrows in a central position, right-footed and miles over hit. Throw to Wickham.
So what is it? Winner keeps the scarf between you and Adrian?
I think that's it. And it's a nice scarf as well.
It's a beauty. It is a beauty. Not generally a fan of half and half scarves, but it works. It works today.
We have live Champions League football and Europa League football coming for you next week on the TalkSport network. Tuesday, Arsenal against Bayern Munich on TalkSport, and then on TalkSport 2, Manchester City away at Real Madrid. Wednesday, PSG against Barcelona on 2, and Liverpool and West Ham both in Europa League action on Thursday. Again, those matches on the TalkSport network. We have more live football than anywhere else. Flicked by Randall down the middle, but Nigel Lonvike will let the ball run across his body. Ricky J. Jones was coming back from an offside position, so Wickham retrieved the ball with ease.
Yeah, Lonvike and Farino have been too comfortable in this first half. I think Ricky J. Jones has got to try and get on the ball a little bit more often, try and hold it up. Joel Randall's been on the periphery of the game. I think that down that central spine, it is Wanderers that are the stronger.
And Burrows was casual. He's given it straight to Kone, who bursts in between two blue shirts and wins the free kick. Midway inside the Peterborough half, dead centre, surely too far out for a shot. I mean, it's got to be 40 yards from goal this, but I don't think the pass from Burrows, casual though it was, sums up the Peterborough performance, but I do think objectively Wickham and their manager Matt Bloomfield will be the happier of the two after 33 minutes, 0-0.
There's no debate to be had on that. It absolutely will be the happier of the two managers. Kone there, I mean, what Kone is producing for Wickham is what Peterborough are missing from Jay Jones. You know, he's been that outlet, he's made the channel runs. There he goes into a central midfield pocket and turns and makes something happen. That's what Peterborough United have lacked so far. It was the two midfielders, wasn't it, Collins and Cipriano, that sort of tag teamed to take Kone down.
No angle here for Luke Leahy, 40 yards out, dead centre. Farino and Lonvike both forward for Wickham Wanderers. Dinked in by Leahy, high towards Farino, he's nodded it down, headed away by Edwards for Peterborough, not very far. It's come back to Matt Butcher, wide to Sadlier, left wing position, takes on Poku. Sadlier twists onto his right, hooks in the cross. It's a brilliant ball. Farino with the header. It's going to drift well wide. Always a difficult header for Farino, pulling away at that back post, and it remains 0-0 in a game few clear-cut chances that have been seen so far.
Yeah, but we see some good play too, and case in point there really from Sadlier. That was excellent wing play, trickery, chopping one way and then the next. He went past Poku too easily. I mean, Poku's defending was pretty poor.
Great turn there by Mason Clark, and Randall is away up the far side the left. He's not beyond Grimmer. He's knocked it forward to Ricky J. Jones. Hit it well, blocked by the sliding Farino. And for the first time there in the game, Wickham exposed in the full-back positions. Farino had to come across. Jones hit it early. Peterborough have their third corner of the final.
Fantastic defending from Farino, but that's better, isn't it? From Peterborough United, a little bit more direct in the way that they've attacked. They can mix things up. They're not just the possession-heavy side. They can attack on the counter at pace, and that's really good from Joel Randall. He travels with the ball at pace, slips in Jay Jones, and it's a really good
Burrows delivery, headed just wide. There was Knight up against his old club. After the corner was taken short, Randall just poked it into the path of Burrows, hoisted it in first time left-footed, and Knight, well, it flashed 2 or 3 yards wide of the near post as we look at it, possibly up there with the best chances in the game.
It is the best chance so far. It's a simple corner, 2v1, and there's an outswinger, and really the header isn't the best. I think he should hit the target there. Knight, he's a goal scoring centre half. He's capable of finding the back of the net in those situations, and it was, yeah, it just came off the side of his head a little bit, grazed him.
Now Scowen looking to burst upfield, right through the middle towards the edge of the Peterborough penalty area. Couldn't reach the high bouncing ball. Burrows with his customary composure to turn and send it back to goalkeeper Steer. There are about 200 Wickham fans behind the goal to our right, bouncing up and down frenetically, waving Wickham scarves. Their supporters who've travelled from Spain have adopted the club. As Londvik rolls the ball back to Farino, the other Wickham centre-half, and now Leahy from the left-back position will scoop it downfield towards Kone. Kone's controlled that well in front of Knight. Kone looks up, floats the high ball through the middle, perfectly angled for McCleary. He's nodded it down to Scowen. Hits that miles over the top. You could see what he was thinking. Wembley glory from about 35 yards. But it bounced up in front of him and he couldn't keep it down.
I mean, what a goal that would have been. That would have been an all-time classic here beneath the arch. But it's good play again, isn't it, from Kone? Holds the ball up, turns, and then it's another effortless diagonal ball in towards Gareth McCleary. That's been the pattern of play from Wickham throughout this first half, and I love the little cushion header. But the strike on the half volley was ambitious.
Scowen at times almost playing that role in behind Kone. Wickham don't necessarily have a natural number 10 on the field today. Edwards for Peterborough United will play it back to Collins. Peterborough 0, Wickham 0 in the EFL Trophy Final on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points 18+. Terms and conditions apply. Late in the first half here, 37 minutes gone. Katongo wins the ball back to Peterborough number 2. Right-hand edge of the centre circle. A square ball now to the feet of Edwards, who's drifted over the halfway line. Edwards looked to credit on the angle to his left and Burrows, but McCleary sliding in to intercept in what has typified a hard-working Wickham display. Quick throw though to Mason Clark. Mason Clark touches it on. Randall through the middle, and here's Poku! Brilliant block. Poku again, saved by Ravitzoli. Well, they want handball, Peterborough United. Darren Ferguson screams at the fourth official. Poku's first effort blocked by Leahy, and then Ravitzoli made a sprawling save. No VAR here at Wembley today, so I think Peterborough will just get a corner out of it.
Well, sheer desire from Wickham to keep that ball out of their own net. It opened up, didn't it, for Poku? The first challenge is absolutely brilliant, and then the goalkeeper plays his part too. Joel Randall has come alive in the last 5 minutes. It's
handball, isn't it? Corner for Peterborough. Left-footed into the near post. Wickham can only get it half away. Savlier hammers it up towards the halfway line. Seemed to certainly strike the arm of Leahy sliding in Adrian Clark.
It did strike his arm. It did. And I wonder if we did have VAR whether that would have been given. He made himself a little bit bigger. I don't think it's deliberate. I think he makes a natural slide there, Luke Leahy, to make the block. But without the arm there, it goes past him.
And probably into the corner.
Yeah, probably does. But we don't want VAR, do we?
I don't think so. Well, it was interesting listening to the Wolves chairman, or reading the Wolves chairman Jeff Shee's comments, alluding to his belief, which seems to be that VAR just overcomplicates things now after their decision against West Ham yesterday.
Well, I would love it if all the owners, all the chairmen, they got together and went to the Premier League with that opinion. If they share it, of course.
Interesting watching Cipriano move to right back and Katongo into a more central position for Peterborough now. As Poku dinks the ball up towards Randall again, he's back to goal. He looks to lay it off. He's on the edge of the Wickham penalty area. Thought about twisting onto his right-hand side. Back infield to Burrows. Faced up by a sea of green and white Wickham shirts again. It's a good spell this for Peterborough United. Goalless in the 43rd EFL Trophy Final. Cipriano wide to Katongo. And Cipriano now back into the middle of midfield where Josh Knight is standing for Peterborough. They've got a number of players, Peterborough, who are so capable of playing in all sorts of different positions all over the pitch, but it's been given away out of defence by Knight, and then a sloppy ball by Leahy to knock that straight out of play. It's been probably on balance an even first half overall, but certainly Peterborough, after a relatively slow start, are coming into the game now.
They're growing, no doubt about that, but there's still frustration, and I think that the distribution for the centre halves could have been better. These are two guys that are among the best passers in the division, and there have been a few loose ones.
Here's Katongo, played in down the near side to right. He's level with the edge of the Wickham penalty area. Near side at Wembley as we look at it. Back to Poku. Touches it on to Cipriano. Now Collins. A square ball to the lip of the centre circle where Edwards is waiting. Wickham have everybody back behind the ball here. The managers, Ferguson and Bloomfield, pointing the way forward on the near side touchline. Bloomfield, the Wickham boss, stands with his arms folded. Close to 2 decades as a player at the club. Efren Mason-Clark, corner of the penalty area, nudges into the path of Collins. Collins will shoot. That's blocked. It'll come out to Katongo. Good save by Ravitsoli. Down to his left-hand side. Poku gets the reverse ball. Peterborough knocking at the door here. Cipriano, right-hand edge of the area, cross-blocked by Butcher. Suddenly, Peterborough don't want the first half to end, and Darren Ferguson once more from the 23,000 Peterborough fans in the sunshine.
Top save from Ravitsoli. Really, really quick, wasn't he, going down to his left from that stinging strike from Katongo. It's a real skimmer from 25 yards. Couldn't have caught it any sweeter. He's heading towards that bottom corner. An excellent stop. That's the second in 5 minutes from him.
Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2. Mo Salah from the penalty spot to equalise for Liverpool. It takes them level on points with Arsenal, but Arsenal will be top of the Premier League on goal difference. Now it's Wickham on the attack. Header away by Edwards midway inside his own half, and the game is really livening up now, as is the atmosphere at Wembley Stadium, with Cipriano darting over the halfway line. He finds Randall. Randall's got Poku in support to his immediate right. Poku, 5 yards from the corner of the area, goes on the outside of Leahy, low ball in, cleared away by Lonvijk, brought down by Sadlier, and Sadlier back to Butcher. That was a risky pass. Leahy's had to scoop it forward up towards Kone. Wickham defending well, Kone holding it up brilliantly. Now Scowen up the middle, and it's 3 against 3. Scowen wide to Kone. Near side the left is on the corner of the penalty area. Sadlier on the overlap. Kone goes alone, low shot, and it's gathered by Steer. Didn't have much power behind it. Steer with a simple save.
Oh, terrific centre forward play. Absolutely brilliant from Kone. This is one of the most inexperienced players on the pitch, but he has looked absolutely at home here on this Wembley surface. The way he's looked after the ball and the composure in possession has been outstanding. Held it, played it nicely in field to Scowen, gets it back and takes it forward to have a strike on goal. He's had an excellent first half.
The former Athletic Newham player, brought to Wickham in January. Poku darts in field away from Leahy, who's struggling. On to Jones, angle against it. Jones thought about the shot, plays it back instead to Cipriano. Cipriano in a potential crossing position, but on his weaker left side, has to shuffle back in field and shepherd the ball to the feet of Collins. Back to Cipriano. 1 minute and 45 seconds of the first half to go. Not really too many moving out of their seats at Wembley just yet, although we can see the fourth official ready with that electronic board. Edwards shooting low, takes a big deflection from range. That goes behind for another Peterborough United corner number 6 for them, and Wickham under pressure towards the end of the first half. Adrian Clark.
Yeah, they're turning the screw, aren't they? They were really asserting themselves now, Posh, and that was good from Edwards. Earlier on in the half he went on a surging solo dribble and lost the ball. Good to see that it didn't deter him. He saw the space there running Edwards to centre half, ran into it and fired off a decent shot, and they've got themselves a corner out of it.
Burrows has gone short again, and he's got the ball from the corner taker Randall. Wickham headed away at the near post, flicked down towards the edge of the penalty area by Collins. Farino can't get there for Wickham, but Butcher can. Steers it up to the relative safety of the halfway line. Nobody upfield for Wickham in those stripy green and white shirts. I think we'll have a minute of added time as and when it comes here on TalkSport 2 in the first half, with Tottenham against Nottingham Forest to come in the Premier League on TalkSport at 6 as the live football continues. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2 is the latest score from Old Trafford. That would be enough for Arsenal to stay top of the Premier League on goal difference, with Manchester City a point behind the two at the top. It's going to be a remarkable end to the Premier League season. That's where Adrian Clark's nerves will kick in. Cipriano for Peterborough, 10 yards into the Wickham half, plays it backwards to the centre circle, and Collins now. Here comes that added time. Collins steers the ball wide left to Mason-Clark. 1 minute of additional time at the end of the first half. Efren Mason-Clark, couple of step overs. Burrows' first time cross, headed away by the diving Farino. Thumping header clear there, out of play, and it's another Peterborough throw. There is real concern for Wickham whenever Harrison Burrows is on the ball in a crossing position, and actually, again, maybe the delivery wasn't his best, fizzed in but dealt with easily.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt that Farino and Lonvijk are the busier of the two centre-backs at the moment in a defensive capacity, having to put their bodies on the line. This has been a good spell from Peterborough United, getting to sort of really assert their authority.
25 seconds of the first half to go. Leahy beaten to it by Poku again. Leahy continues to struggle. Poku corner of the area. Randall is through! Oh, and Ravitzoli made a good save at his feet. Ravitzoli dived in, got one glove to it. Randall was nearly round the goalkeeper. Ravitzoli did very well. Another Peterborough corner, 0-0.
He has to shoot. Joel Randall has to shoot. He slipped in quite magnificently from Kwame Poku, and he just delays. Then he thinks, oh, I've got to go round the goalkeeper, and the angle is really tight, and Ravitzoli did ever so well with his outstretched left glove to put it behind for a corner.
Can Wickham see out the first half? Hanging on a little here at the end of the first half. Peterborough looking for the opening goal. Burrows high, left-footed. Here comes Ravitzoli, takes the goal, the goalkeeper, and that the end of the first half. A first half that the favourites, Peterborough, certainly finished stronger here at Wembley Stadium. Two good saves from Ravitzoli. Appeals for handball against Leahy, the penalty that ultimately never was after he blocked Poku's shot inside the penalty area. No VAR at Wembley, and Scott Oldham, the on-field referee, said no. Wickham certainly started the game the better of the two sides. There were opportunities for Matt Butcher and Gareth McCleary. Certainly Richard Kone, the young Ivorian, is doing a good job upfield on just his 15th professional appearance. But Peterborough were the team who didn't really want the first half to end at the break here in the final of the EFL Trophy. It's cagey, it's nervy, it's Peterborough 0, Wickham 0. Also here today, Stuart Pearce, England legend, been in the commentary box of Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2 fame, and no changes at half-time for either team. With the skies still bright up ahead at Wembley, Peterborough the team fourth in League One. They could well be back at Wembley, of course, for the playoffs, who knows, come the end of the season. Wickham in mid-table, goalless, as Wickham Wanderers get the second half off and underway in their green and white striped shirts, green shorts and green socks, playing from left to right towards the west end at Wembley. Miscue by Burrows. Kone with an early corner, just onto the roof of the net. Kone tried to catch out the goalkeeper's steer. It was so nearly a wonderful piece of ingenuity and ambition from Richard Kone. Burrows made the initial mistake, and the former non-league striker beat steer but couldn't get it to beat the crossbar. 0-0.
It looks an inspired selection from Matt Bloomford. Richard Kone, he just bumped off Knight, the centre half, and then he tried an audacious lob, and it really wasn't very far away. Jed Steer was worried.
A great many in the near 40,000 crowd would have missed that, because there are still lots of empty red seats in the two lower tiers of the Wembley Stadium Bowl. So no changes at half-time. Wickham playing from left to right, and Peterborough shooting towards the end where the 23,000 posh fans are, right to left in the royal blue shirts and shorts and the white socks. Peterborough, Steer is the goalkeeper. Katongo, Knight, Edwards and Burrows are the defenders. Cipriano and Collins in midfield. Poku, Randall and Mason Clark behind Jones up front. For Wickham, Ravitzoli in goal, Grimmer, Farino, Lonvijk and Leahy. Potts and Butcher in midfield. Scowen just in front of them. Sadlier and McCleary in the wing positions, and Kone's up front on his own. I'll give you the two sets of subs in just a moment as well. The 43rd EFL Trophy final. Peterborough unbeaten at Wembley Stadium, but here's McCleary for Wickham, looking to burst into the box. Across came Edwards to thump it into touch, and that, I think, will be the first Wickham corner of the game on this near side of the field there, right in front of that Wickham end.
Excellent cover from Ronnie Edwards, but they're targeting Harrison Burrows again there. It's a ball lofted over his head. He's a little bit advanced, and McCleary just spins in beyond him into a really dangerous position.
0-0 is the score in the final. One of the great days in the EFL calendar. Luke Leahy will take the corner for Wickham. It'll be left-footed and in-swinging, and this is where they can really threaten. Lonvijk and Farino at the far post. Kone and McCleary a bit closer to the goalkeeper. Whipped in towards the back post, well taken by Steer, all in pink. Not a good delivery by Leahy, and Steer with a quick throw out to the far side to right. And Peterborough on the counter-attack here. Forward by Cipriano. up the far side, the right wing position. Opportunity for Poku to dart forward. He's onto his left side. He jinks back onto his right. It's a brilliant run and the cross deflects behind. And so Peterborough win a corner of their own straight away. There haven't been a great deal of clear-cut chances in the EFL Trophy finals so far on a sunny day at Wembley. But maybe the game is starting to open up. 3 minutes into the second half, 0-0.
Yeah, nice flow to it at the start of the second period. When there's space to run into, Peterborough United look a much more dangerous side, don't they? And it was good to see Poku try and go on the outside there, and that's what won him the corner.
Burrows with the in-swing delivery, high to the edge of the six-yard box, over the head of Ciprianu. And Wickham's Richard Kone will dart forward on a potential counter-attack here. Poor pass forward by Kone, undercooked, won back easily by Collins for Peterborough. In the blue and white, playing from right to left, and now the ball is with Ricky J. Jones, menacing on the corner of the penalty area. Dinks in the left-footed cross, and it's over the top via the head of Wickham's Farino. He thought his shirt was being tugged by Ciprianu. That'll be another corner to Peterborough, already up to 8, and we are only 49 minutes into the final.
Well, that was unusually sloppy from Wickham Wanderers because Ricky J. Jones is not under any pressure. Josh Gowen gets across but doesn't get anywhere near close enough to put him off, and he's able to just float the ball into the danger zone. And yeah, it's good defending, but it shouldn't have got there.
Corner's taken short to Burrows, back out to Randall, corner of the penalty area, whips it in high right-footed. That's a brilliant ball, and it evades. 3-4 in the Peterborough blue at the back post. They wanted a foul, I think, potentially there. Nothing given by the on-field referee, Scott Oldham. Again, Ciprianu involved. Another Peterborough corner, this time out on that opposite side again, as Burrows places it down to swing this in left-footed. Peterborough winning corner after corner. Burrows, high right underneath the crossbar. Ciprianu heads it down and wide under pressure from Jack Grimmer. And it's a big missed opportunity from close range for the Cyprus international.
Well, Peterborough are knocking on the door here, no doubt about that. It's another good set piece. They isolate Ciprianu at the far post. He's all on his own. It's all about man-to-man marking. There's a lot of jostling going on. If one player wins his individual duel, they get on the end of a set piece, and his marker didn't know a lot about that. Ciprianu, not even looking at the player. They've got hold of one another. Just into the side netting in the end for Ciprianu.
This is a Peterborough United side who have the joint best 100% win record at Wembley Stadium over 3 or more visits. Headed by Ciprianu midway inside his own half the field. Forward to Jones, nodded clear by Wickham's Chris Farino. The Wickham players who were here in 2022 for the League One playoff final loss to Sunderland, only Scowen and McCleary are in the starting 11 today. The Wickham bench: McCarthy, Lowe, Wheeler, Taylor, Tafazzoli, Vokes and Striek the goalkeeper. Lots of experience. Peterborough, this young side, and Darren Ferguson has spoken of the pride of taking a young team to Wembley. Bilokovic the goalkeeper, de Havilland, Critchlow, Adjiboy, Dornelli, Mothersill and Johnson Clark Harris, who is an experienced figure, the number 9. Not been as regular a presence in the team this season. Efren Mason Clark has really been the star of this Peterborough side. There's a Peterborough man down just shy of the halfway line. I think that's Ciprianu who went to ground, and the referee certainly stopped the game, and Peterborough have a free kick just shy of halfway. Tottenham against Nottingham Forest underway in less than 20 minutes over on Talk Sport, after Liverpool were held to a 2-2 draw by Manchester United earlier on. So Arsenal stay top of the Premier League, Sheffield United 0, Chelsea 0, a latest score. Grimmer with a thundered volley clearance behind, and Peterborough now 11 corners across the course of the game, and you can feel the belief among the Peterborough fans roaring to their feet behind the goal that maybe the lead is coming for them soon.
It doesn't feel as if they've had, so much pressure that they would have forced 11 corners, but there's been sort of no-nonsense defending, I suggest, from Wickham at times. But they have looked increasingly dangerous from these set-play situations.
It's going to be whipped in this one by Randall. Goalkeeper stays at home. Wickham cannot clear. Knight with the effort, charged down by Farino. Knight on the spin and turn against his old side. Farino with an heroic block, but Wickham are really hanging on here.
It's one of many heroic blocks from Wickham Wanderers in this game. That's 3 or 4 at least from them, where they've put their bodies on the line and stopped a goal-bound shot. Brilliant there from Farino.
Corner number 12 to Peterborough at the east end of Wembley. It's Burrows with the delivery again underneath the crossbar. Knight is there again, brilliantly dealt with by Farino. Fantastic defending, and Farino is hurt. He might have collided with the post possibly, or certainly there may well have been a clash of heads. Farino with an outstanding defensive header. The young man who gave up a place at Loughborough University to become a professional footballer with Wickham Wanderers. And I don't know whether did he collide with the post there, Adrian Clark. We have got monitors in the commentary position. We might be able to check on it again.
It was either the post or the goalkeeper. He might have clashed with his own teammate, but it's colossal defending. He loses his man initially, and he's clambering, and he makes a brilliant header. I'm not sure who he collided with, but he seems fine. But he's been excellent. Him and Lonvik at the heart of that central defence for Wanderers.
Wickham concerned enough to get 3 subs warming up, and the Peterborough fans are the louder at the moment, as you'd expect, with their team on top. Peterborough 0, Wickham 0. Amazed that we haven't had goals in the final just yet. Kone for Wickham looking to burst through the middle. Scowen can't get there. Peterborough seem to be winning all of the second balls and the battles in midfield, particularly since the resumption of play after half-time. Kone tracking back for Wickham. No foul given, but it might not matter. Poku's racing up the middle. Here's the chance for him to shoot, and a flying left-footed effort over the top. And it's another opportunity, yet another opportunity to test Ravitzoli that Darren Ferguson's team have seen pass them by. 0-0.
They are knocking on that door, and that knock is getting louder and louder and louder. It's a great driving run from Kwame Poku. He wins the ball initially. He just surges. He travels 20, 30 yards. No one stops him. And I tell you what, he's not a million miles away. Left foot curler. It's just about a foot or so over the crossbar.
Peterborough starting to show why they are the favourites here today. Beat Stockport County at the Old Wembley in 92, Darlington at the Old Wembley in 2000, and Chesterfield in this EFL Trophy final 10 years ago. Peterborough 0, Wickham 0 though is the score. Wickham have won a free kick midway inside their own half the field. Sheffield United 0, Chelsea 1 in the Premier League. Thiago Silva has Chelsea in front at the age of 39. Thiago Silva.
Wow, it's a game today then. Look, they've scored 57 goals from open play, Peterborough.
Yep.
It's 31 more than Wickham. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And we're starting to see why now. You know, they are carving chance after chance out, but they haven't been able to take one.
Here is a set-piece opportunity for Wickham, though. Midway inside the Peterborough half, it's dinked in by Leahy. Goalkeeper steer, doesn't get there. Sadly, they tried to volley it home, and the ball has ended up in the back of the net, but the referee had long since blown for a free kick. I think it was Lonvik who put it in the end, but Steer was fouled in the build-up. In fact, it was Kone who turned it in. Not to matter, though. 0-0, foul given.
Yeah, definitely a foul. I don't think there's any arguments there, and the whistle came very early. They've got to be careful, Peterborough United, whenever they give away a free kick, because Wickham Wanderers, a lot of their strategies and success in recent years has been from corners and wide free kicks. This season I think they've scored 13, but 3 of those 13 came in the 2 games against Peterborough United, so you can bet your bottom dollar that Matt Bloomfield would have worked on a few routines ahead of this final.
There's a Peterborough player, I think it might be Knight, who needs some treatment here, not Steer as I thought initially. So Knight just being attended to by the physio, but he's kept himself on his feet. Wickham fans and Peterborough fans are on the near side touchline, players rather, are gathered in front of the 2 managers. Darren Ferguson, who is in his 4th spell in charge at Peterborough United, the son of Sir Alex Ferguson, and for Wickham Wanderers, Matt Bloomfield in his first managerial role. Good noise around Wembley Stadium, but still 0-0. Wickham are hanging on a bit here, Adrian Clark.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they were just before half-time. They needed the whistle. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a whistle that saves them anytime soon. But this is sort of fallout from COVID days, isn't it? Where every time there's a break in play, the managers now call their players over and they have like a mini team meeting, and it gives them that chance, that opportunity to get some tactical messages across. And I think that Matt Bloomfield's messages will have been the most important there. He needs to find a way to stem the tide, because there's real momentum about Posh at the minute.
No sign of any changes yet. Peterborough temporarily down to 10 men. Knight has had to go off the field just for a second or two. If there are any changes, we'll get them to you as quickly as we can with our man pitch side Ian Abrahams. On a lovely spring day in northwest London, Wembley Stadium beneath the arch, a monumental day for both clubs. Peterborough 0, Wickham 0 in the EFL Trophy final. 12 and a half minutes into the second half. Potts for Wickham. Ball up the far side, the left wing. Kone chasing. Peterborough still down to 10. Cipriano down by his own corner flag under pressure from Kone here. He's given it away. Only as far as Sadlier. Couple of step overs. Thought about the reverse ball into the area, right footed. Now he's darted up the left hand side. Sadlier still thinking about a cross here. Right by the corner flag. Wins the corner for Wickham off Katonga. Wickham with a rare corner, just a second of the game, and that allows Farino and Lundvik, the big centre halves, to join Kone in the area here.
Yes. Tricky customer, isn't he, Kieran Sadlier? And that trickery has won a valuable corner here. And Farino, we've seen how dominant he is inside his own box. Can he get the first contact inside the opposition box? Because if he can, it could be the match winner here.
Sadlier is going to whip this in high, right-footed, headed up into the air by Knight, who had just come back onto the field for Peterborough prior to that corner being taken, and scooped away by Edwards, high and long towards the halfway line. Butcher's in a battle with Poku. He hasn't won the first battle. Poku standing his ground in between the two stronger Wickham players. He's worked it back to Burrows on the halfway line. Now Archie Collins surges beyond three in green and white, not beyond Lundvik though. The Wolves no knee, given away though to Poku, opens up for him, edge of the box, he's got the opportunity to lay it square. Ricky J. Jones is in the area, teased it back across, it came off Grimmer. Yet another Peterborough United corner, number 13 for the game, as we tick towards the hour mark, and more often than not the goal to our left hand side, occupied by Wickham's Franco Ravizzoli, is under siege here, former Southend winger Adrian Clark.
Yeah, they're under big pressure here, Wickham Wanderers. I wonder, Matt Bloomfield's got to be looking at those substitutes just limbering up beneath us and thinking, might need to make a change here. Fresh legs could be required. They are absolutely clinging on.
Edwards, Knight and Cipriano are there. Randall's delivery, headed away bravely by Farino yet again. Been outstanding so far in the game. Still not clear of the edge of the penalty area. Comes down to Burrows, 30 yards out. Whips it wide. Randall, he's in the area. Thought about cutting it onto his right foot. He could go for goal here. That effort is blocked by Scowen sliding in. Maybe took a little too long to make his decision on the ball there, Joel Randall. And now the ball's out of play for a Wickham throw in the left back position. And Darren Ferguson, just for a moment in that all-black tracksuit, rages at the fourth official. Matt Bloomfield, the Wickham boss, trudges back towards the seats in the dugout. There's quite a gap between the seats and the edge of the field of play, and I can see Sam Vokes going through an increasingly energetic warm-up here. I wonder whether Wickham will get their big experience number 9 onto the pitch. Something's got to change for them, otherwise surely the way the game is going, Peterborough will score. Peterborough started the game nervously, but they've really taken control. The team who, as I say, were hopeful of automatic promotion until maybe a couple of weeks ago. They had a shock home defeat to Carlisle, beaten by Portsmouth narrowly as well. They might be back here for the playoffs, Clark.
They could easily be here for the playoffs. Yeah, they're a dangerous side, no question. That they're nailed on to at least be in the playoff picture. And yeah, you'd fancy them because they've got this firepower. We've seen it today in terms of the pressure they can apply on the opposition. It is the finishing that sometimes lets them down. A moment or two ago, Joel Randall opened up the space really nicely for him. You just thought, well, just curl it, just whip it into that far corner, and he waited, and then the moment had gone.
Here is Knight for Peterborough, surging beyond Kone and into the Wickham half. Wickham, remember, do have a good record against Peterborough historically. Unbeaten in 5 and beaten them 5-2 this season. There was a 2-2 draw as well between the two clubs back in October. Butchers dink the ball up the Wickham left, straight to the feet of Katongo though. Cipriano forward to Poku. Number 11 just inside the Wickham half in a very tight, congested area. And in the end, Peterborough thought they'd won a throw. It's gone Wickham's way. Just a little slither of sunshine in and around the halfway line and the centre circle. Otherwise, the pitch is in shade. Good crowd for the EFL Trophy final, no matter what certain people tell you. Nearly 40,000, which for two relatively small clubs is a great turnout.
It really is. From a tactical point of view, I think Wickham need to get hold of the ball here and keep it. Haven't seen a lot of it, have they, in the last 10 or 15 minutes? And that threat, that menace that they held in the first period, has dissipated a touch. That's why I think Bloomfield has to turn to his bench soon.
We're in the 18th minute of the second half, headed by Jack Grimmer for Wickham, upfield and out of play. Grimmer, a Wembley winner before with Wickham and also with Coventry City. He scored here in a League Two playoff final. It was a fantastic curling shot, if I remember it, against Exeter City a few years ago. And Coventry's run back up the division.
What a rise they've had. And they opened up the Championship title race, didn't they, with a great win against Leeds yesterday, Coventry.
Absolutely did. Tottenham against Nottingham Forest underway over on TalkSport, live and exclusive very shortly. We've got Champions League and Europa League for you on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool and West Ham all in action. All of their games are live on the network. Given away sloppily by Knight here for Peterborough, and Sadlier's got room to dart into. Wide to Gareth McCleary. McCleary's in the area, angle against him, tucks it back across, it's blocked. Steered away initially by the retreating Cipriano, I think. And now Burrows, early ball up over the halfway line for Jones. He's got the pace, but Farino's got the tackle. What a sliding tackle by Farino. It's Wickham's best player so far.
He's been superb, hasn't he? Chris Farino. Just majestic defending.
We shall not pass, he said to Jones. Not yet, anyway. Nearly 20 minutes into the second half, so nearly at the 65-minute mark. Still no imminent sign of changes yet for either team. Peterborough 0, Wickham 0. Wickham very much on the counter. Peterborough continuing to dominate possession and territory here. Edwards wide to Burrows on the near side of the field. Infield to Randall. Joel Randall with his socks rolled down, halfway down his shins. Efron Mason-Clark, couple of step-overs, trying to take on Grimmer. Grimmer stands up to the challenge and forces him towards the corner flag. Mason-Clark back to Burrows. That's a brilliant ball! Cleared away by Leahy. Before Poku could get there at the back post. Peterborough really piling on the pressure.
Yeah, look, as a former winger, I've nothing but admiration for that delivery. That on the run, that was pretty much perfect from Harrison Burrows. I was just thinking a moment or two earlier how well Grimmer's done against Efron Mason-Clark.
Yeah.
He's used his experience, he's got nice and tight to him. Not too often that Mason-Clark, who Coventry paid big money for, by the way, it's not too often he's been afforded space in this final.
That's a 7-figure fee, isn't it, for Mason-Clark? Poku darting up the middle, suddenly quickening the pace. He's laid it square to Randall. Randall onto Burrows, angle against him, crosses, poor delivery. Gathered by Ravizzoli. They were queuing up in the middle for Peterborough United. Jones was lurking, so too Mason-Clark. Burrows could even have taken it down and gone for goal himself, Clark.
It's exactly what he should have done. He had time there. It's a really good early pass from Joel Randall, and I think he can take a touch here and settle himself. It's Poker again. He's been really good in this game. Randall then feeds it on to Burrows, and he's out of control. The ball bounces up. He's got to take a touch there. He's got the time to control it and then drill it towards goal. It's really loose from Burrows.
We're in the Coventry box here, behind the glass, and Adrian Durham can hardly bear to watch. The way the game is set momentum-wise, you'd expect Peterborough to score. It just feels a case of when at this point. We haven't yet reached the midway point of the second half. A header flicked forward by Potts for Wickham towards the edge of the Peterborough penalty area. Potts there again towards Sadlier. Sadlier can't quite bring it down. Great scoring record against Peterborough, but Knight gets in front of Kone, whose threat is lessened. Not a good back pass though, given away by the goalkeeper. Sadlier rifles it over the top. Jed Steer with the mistake, and Sadlier had to keep that on target. If he had done, Wickham might have taken the lead against the run of play, and chances like that will not come very often for the Chairboys. It's still 0-0 somehow in the EFL Trophy final.
Well, Wickham Wanderers scored a near identical goal to this in the league game, where they won 5-2, where Bila Kapic it was that gave the ball away on the edge of his own box. On this occasion it's Jed Steer, and Sadlier should hit the target. It's a gift. It's overplaying from the back. It's been a theme of the weekend, hasn't it? Or the week, really. Goalkeepers dilly-dallying, making loose passes and costing their teams goals. Well, Steer has breathed a huge sigh of relief there, because he passed it straight to Sadlier.
On a day when silverware is at stake, it's still 0-0. Good turn by Randall in the centre circle, but Potts, on loan from West Ham, tracked him all the way. Little dart infield again by the ever dangerous Poku. Square to the feet of Randall. He's about 35 yards out. Randall trying to tinkle over the top towards Cipriano. Good header clear. And Sadlier back inside his own half now. Races away from Katongo. Scoops it downfield, but Cipriano in the way to nod it to the feet of Poku. And Sadlier gets in front of Katongo to race up towards the halfway line. Poor pass towards Scowen. Scowen's hardly been on the ball in the second half. Kone's threat has lessened, and Wickham Wanderers can't keep possession. It's all Peterborough United for the most part.
Yeah, I'd agree. That midfield has started this game so well. They look tired. They're flagging. Josh Scowen, we know that he was a fitness doubt. I don't think he can last that much longer here. Treading water.
Nobody expected Josh Scowen to play from a Wickham perspective today after he had to come off in the draw they picked up at Blackpool on Easter Monday. Peterborough will go back to their promotion push after this. Randall up the middle for them, skips away from three in green and white. Pass through the middle is intercepted by Lonvike, and now McCleary up to Scowen. Was he fouled by Collins? He was. Darren Ferguson turns away in frustration, thinks that Scowen bought that free kick from the referee, and he did seem to be looking for it with all of his experience.
I thought it was a really clever play. I think that's how we describe that. He looks over his shoulder. He can see the challenge coming in from Collins. He feels the contact, keeps him away from the ball, and accepts the free kick. And that's smart play, I think.
More live football than anyone else on the TalkSport network. Leahy's free kick dealt with by the defender. Flicked on inadvertently by Burrows. Back towards his own goal. Poor clearance by Peterborough. Scowen's on the edge of the box now. He's back to goal. He steered it wide to Gareth McCleary. There are three to him and in the area. McCleary goes on the outside. Whips in the cross. Headed away. It nearly reached Scowen. Flicked further clear by Jones for Peterborough. Now it's Wickham's turn to launch another attack. Stopped downfield by Lonvike. Headed away by Knight this time. It'll drop down to Butcher for Wickham. Forward to Scowen. He's about 5 yards from the edge of the penalty area. Gareth McCleary again. What's the cross like? Back post is Sadlier. Sadlier, time to control. Teases the defender. Lays it back. Luke Leahy delivers left-footed over the head of Kone, who can't get to it. It goes behind for a goal kick. And for both sets of supporters here, this really is nerve-shredding stuff. With 20 minutes to go, Wickham had 2-3 attempts to cross the ball on goal. What's going on the touchline? TalkSport 2's Ian Abrahams.
Well, I can tell you that the substitutes that you were talking about before, including Sam Vokes, are still warming up. Matt Bloomfield showed no sign yet, Joe, of getting them on the pitch. So at the moment, they're still warming up, same 11.
Here come Wickham with Potts, knocking the ball towards the edge of the penalty area. Cleared away only as far as Matt Butcher. Butcher plays it back to Leahy. These are really important moments in the EFL Trophy final now. Sadlier, infield from the left, back to Lonvike. A rare spell of Wickham possession in the game as they go back to goalkeeper Franco Ravizzoli. There have been missed chances aplenty for both teams, Adrian Clark.
There have, yeah, lots and lots of efforts, just not that many on target. But yeah, this was important, I think, for Wickham Wanderers' confidence to have a spell, to relieve the pressure on Farino and Lonvike and the rest of that back four have had to do a lot of work in this second half. Well, they had to do a lot of work since about the 20-minute mark.
Great ball by Randall up the near side, the Peterborough left. Mason Clark crosses! Cleared away! Jones! Blocked! And they want handball, Peterborough United. Nothing's given by the referee. Jones from point-blank range. How did that stay out?
It's magnificent defending again from Wickham Wanderers. They do not want to concede here. The clean sheets mentality is unbelievable from the underdogs. It's a great break down the left-hand side. The ball is fed into the box from Mason Clark, and then we see one piece of good defending, and then another. Sliding challenges inside their own 6-yard box. Firstly, he hits the hand really of a Peterborough forward.
Chris Farino. Take a bow for Wickham Wanderers. A mammoth performance.
Yeah.
Forward by Leahy, and Kone's chasing this. Across comes Edwards on the intercept for Peterborough. We've got a really good EFL Trophy final on our hands here, and of course, if there isn't a goal in the next 18 minutes plus added time, there'll be extra time to come at Wembley.
Yes, bubbling away nicely.
It's goalless. It's 0-0. On the far side, the right is Poku. Plays it back to Katongo. On to Collins. Collins 10 yards the edge of the penalty area. Blocked off by the retreating Lonvike, who's had to dart back into his position at centre half. Wickham with everybody but Kone back behind the ball here. Moments of pure excitement. heart-wrenching moments for both sets of fans, where you think the ball's going to end up in the back of the net, but somehow it stays out. Jones was at such close range. Knight midway into the Wickham half, wide to the right. Katongo is in a position to cross. Infield it goes to Poku instead. Poku back to Katongo again. He's about 10 yards from the corner flag far side. A much tighter, much more interesting final as the offside flag goes up than the one we saw last season when Bolton beat Plymouth by 4-0. That was over actually pretty early on in the second half, but completely different spectacle here, Clarkie.
Yeah, it's a very even game. The clash of styles is making for a good fight, isn't it? A really good battle. Peterborough United on the balance of play probably deserve it, but you have to admire the resilience, the defensive might of Wickham Wanderers. They have produced some epic moments inside their own box to keep the Posh at bay. We've had 24 shots in this game and only one shot on target apiece. It's been remarkable.
They are on a good run of form, Wickham, and defensively as well, as Edwards turns away from Kone, who was bearing down on goal. Good composure by Edwards at the age of 21, another former non-league player. Square to Collins, Wickham putting the press in high. Back they go to Steer, who plays it out to the left-back position, and Burrows. Wickham are going to make a change very shortly. We'll get the details in a moment. Wickham sliding in with Butcher just shy of the halfway line, and then McCleary's teased the ball out of play. It was Potts with the initial tackle. Throw to Peterborough United midway inside the Wickham half, and no surprise that Wickham, it seems, are going to be the first team to make a change in the final. Matt Bloomfield, I think, is desperate to make it. Wickham win a throw on the halfway line. 0-0 it remains here with just over 15 minutes plus added time to go. Sheffield United won, Chelsea won in the Premier League. Jayden Bogle the scorer. And can we get details of that first change with Ian Abrahams, who is pitch side for us, as Wickham make the first alteration?
Yeah, David Wheeler's coming on for Richard Kone. Kone, as you rightly say, has come into the Wickham side this season from non-league football. It's been a fairy tale story, but he now comes off, and Wheeler comes on, more a midfield player. And of course, as you'll know, Joe, recently sent off 10 seconds after coming on as a sub.
Yes, absolutely. David Wheeler, the combative midfield player for Wickham Wanderers, onto the field now. And is that going to be McCleary playing through the middle? I think it is for Wickham, as you'd expect.
Yeah, it's a job he can do. It's not a problem. Wheeler likes to play it out on the right-hand side if possible. He's a goal threat himself. Decent in the air, and we see that there, winning his first aerial duel. Lots of experience, Wheeler.
Yes, he came on recently, did David Wheeler, for Wickham Wanderers, I think in what was a 4-2 home defeat, and was sent off within about 10 seconds for a lunging challenge. He survived the first 10 seconds here. Wickham have survived, and it's still 0-0 against Peterborough somehow. Peterborough with Burrows, fouled by Wheeler, and that's a free kick to Peterborough in the left-back position. Very tense here at Wembley for the supporters of both clubs, but both have so far given it absolutely everything in the final.
I think both sets of supporters will...
Shows how much it matters, Clark.
I mean, it matters a lot. You know, moments like this, days like these, do not come around very often in a career, and you want to remember them fondly, you want to win something. You know, for Peterborough United or Wickham Wanderers are not going to win the League Cup. They're not going to win the FA Cup. This is their chance to win silverware underneath the arch at Wembley, and they've done great to get here, but once you're here, you do not want to go home as the loser. And look, we're no nearer to knowing who's going to triumph here. We're 76 and a half minutes into the game. It's on the knife edge, it really is.
Wickham once made the semi-finals of the League Cup, though that was a long time ago, 2007 under Paul Lambert. Here is Katongo for Peterborough, just shy of the halfway line. Peterborough United, who are very much in contention for a return to the Championship, which of course is where Darren McAntony, the owner, ultimately wants them to be. Randall for Peterborough United, he's left of centre midway inside the Wickham half, tracked all the way by Farino, who has seemingly boundless energy and gets yet another tackle in. The momentum has slightly slowed in the game, I think.
Big time, yeah. I think this has been a good spell for Wanderers. Peterborough have lost their way, and I'm surprised Ferguson hasn't looked towards the bench yet, because I feel they could do with someone fresh to lift them.
Well, they've got the likes of Johnson, Clark, Harris, still a goal-scoring threat among the subs. David Adjaboy and Malik Mothersill, who's got a good record in this season's EFL Trophy as well. All three of his senior goals have come in the EFL Trophy. He may yet come on. Peterborough playing from right to left. Sun still shines overhead at Wembley. Here is Burrows for Peterborough in the sunshine. Forward now to Mason Clark, who takes on Grimmer. Left wing position, fouled by Grimmer, just got a nudge in the back. Free kick given by the referee, and Mason Clark wanted to take it quickly, but I think sensibly they'll wait for the centre halves to come forward here, and Burrows and Randall will stand over it.
Well, look, if you've got Burrows or Randall standing over a set piece, you know that the delivery is likely to be decent. I think the referee probably did the right thing there, stopping play. Mason Clark could have carried on, but it was a clear trip, and all the big men have come forward for this.
How many more set pieces can Wickham keep out? This at the Peterborough end of the stadium, where the crowd behind the goal, directly behind the goal, Franco Ravizzoli's net, are on their feet here. Randall and Burrows are the two standing over it. Peterborough's second most set piece goals in League One this season. Can they get another here? With 11 and a half minutes to go, Randall's delivery, goalkeeper stays on his line, headed back across by Knight, came off Leahy, clear corner. Corner number 14. 0-0, how?
I know, it's crazy. We still only have one shot apiece on target. So many efforts, but the goalkeeper's surprisingly quiet.
Malik Mothersill coming on shortly for Peterborough. We'll get details of that change now with Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, as you rightly say, he's had a good run in the competition. Ricky J. Jones is the man being withdrawn. Had a best chance a couple of minutes ago when I thought actually he handled the ball before firing home. But here he goes. Here comes Mothersill, and Ricky J. Jones is replaced.
Former Chelsea man Mothersill scored in the quarter-final and the semi-final for Peterborough United. It's a competition that he loves. Can he come on and make all the difference here? The young man at 20, playing at Wembley Stadium. What an occasion for him.
Fantastic. So many young players savouring this occasion. Oh, it's interesting to see them making the change at a corner. They obviously fancy him maybe to get on the end of this.
Burrows, or will it be Randall to take the corner? Options are plenty on that far side of the field for Peterborough, taken short to Joel Randall. First time right-footed, smuggled away by Wickham Wanderers, and now Scowen maybe can counter. Feeds Sadlier, a little lucky that it reached Sadlier, and he's actually let it trickle out of play very sensibly there. Brow deflection for a throw.
Really interesting that Peterborough always put two players on the corners. They're basically trying to lure an extra defender outside of the box. And Wickham aren't buying it. They're leaving themselves 2v1 and saying, okay, we'll let you have that because we want to keep the players inside the danger zone, and it's a policy that's paid off for them so far.
42,252 is the crowd at Wembley today, so actually that's better than was expected. There's a yellow card out of the pocket of the referee for Collins, and a free kick to Wickham Wanderers just inside Peterborough territory towards the far side there left.
Yeah, it's warranted. Not the first foul Collins has made this afternoon. It's a deliberate foul for sure.
9 minutes to go. Extra time is on the way if it stays 0-0 in the final of the EFL Trophy. Talk Sport 2. Leahy stands over the free kick for Wickham Wanderers. Plenty forward in the green and the white change kit. The 30th anniversary of Wickham's first appearance in the Football League. That's what it's commemorating. Lundvik and Kone are all forward with Farino here, floated into the box, easy for Steer. Poor delivery by Leahy, easy for the Peterborough goalkeeper, who bowls it out to Mothersill straight away. He's had it whipped off his toes, and now Scowen with his industry has got Wheeler on his outside. Wheeler crosses, and it's cleared. Kone's off the field, of course, I mentioned him earlier. McCleary was in the box for Wickham. Into the penalty area by Potts. Easy for Katongo to bring it down onto his right foot. Sadlier couldn't get there. Wickham have worked tremendously hard, but haven't created a great deal in the game at all. Poku has played it back to the feet of Collins. Collins for Peterborough now. Little 1-2 involving the man on the yellow card and Josh Knight, and now Ronnie Edwards. Peterborough 0, Wickham 0 in the EFL Trophy final on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Still a lot of jeopardy in the game, no question about that, but a goal will surely be enough to win it for either team at this point. Here come Peterborough United, 7.5 minutes left. Harrison Burrows down by the dead ball line, he's pulled it back to Efren Mason-Clark. That's a great cross, and the goalkeeper, I think, just about did enough with his call to shout at Farino to duck, and Farino did that, and Ravitsoli, the goalkeeper, did a great job for Wickham.
It was a great ball in from Mason-Clark, but an even better shout from the goalkeeper, Ravitsoli. Really decisive, told the big man, get out of the way, this is the keeper's ball. No messing, and he gathered it into his chest under pressure. Excellent goalkeeping from him. He's had a terrific game. Not that many saves to make, but he's looked commanding.
There's Wickham fans who have travelled from Spain for the game, are bouncing up and down, waving scarves frenetically at the front of the lower tier behind the goal to our right. I think the rest of the Wickham fans are just too nervous to do anything at the moment.
Are they there at Adams Park as well? This
occasionally, a couple of trips a season.
I was going to say it's some commitment to come every fortnight, but yeah, they're quite the army, aren't they, behind the goal? I love it.
They are easily the least tense people in the whole stadium at the moment. Peterborough and Wickham fans likewise, arms folded. Everybody's watching, but it's very nervy here. Halfway line for Peterborough is Collins, back to Knight. 15 yards shy of the halfway line. Collins has got Mothersill ahead of him. Mothersill collects the ball midway inside the Wickham half. He darts forward, couple of step overs to his right is Poku. 3 in the middle waiting for the cross. Poku goes on the outside towards the right, away from the lunging challenge of Leahy. He's right by the corner flag. Wickham don't want to concede another corner. Poku's left-footed cross headed away by Chris Farino again. Chested down by Katonga. Wickham still have made just the one change in the game. Now the ball is taken up from range by Burrows. Wide to the near side, and Efren Mason-Clark on the outside of Grimmer. Then he evades the slide tackle. Plays it back, edge of the box is Burrows here. Low shots, it's in! Burrows for Peterborough United! Is that the goal to win them the EFL trophy? Harrison Burrows, Peterborough in his blood. Been at the club since the age of 6. He fired in the shot left-footed, and Ravitsoli got a big hand to it, but couldn't keep it out. Wickham are finally broken down, and is it going to be Wembley joy for the posh again? Peterborough 1, Wickham 0.
Brilliant from Burrows. What a hit this is! Left foot scorcher. It is too hot for Ravitsoli to handle. He gets the palm on it, but he cannot stop it. The power is just too much. It's a blistering hit from the left back. They've had to be patient. They've knocked on the door throughout this match. Is that the moment that brings Peterborough United silverware? It is a phenomenal strike.
Goalkeeper at fault?
I'm reticent to say it because it's such a good hit. It's so hard. He controls it with his studs. He takes on his man. It's a lovely little drop of the shoulder, and he doesn't see it. It sort of goes through bodies, and he has to stretch. It kind of hits his forearm, the goalkeeper. I don't think this is a goalkeeping error. I think it's a quite brilliant effort.
The captain has scored. Wickham are making a double change now here in response to the goal, and let's get to our man pitch side. TalkSport 2's Ian Abrahams. No, we won't go to Ian Abrahams. Vokes onto the field in place of Scowen for Wickham, and I think it's sadly a yes. He's gone off, and Dale Taylor will come on. So they're going really as direct as they possibly can here, Wickham Wanderers, as they try to send this final to extra time. But Peterborough, you have to say, on the balance of play, they've been knocking at the door, and it's one of their own, the captain, Harrison Burrows, who's got it.
Yep, look, first 20 minutes belonged to Wickham Wanderers, but since then, Peterborough United have been the stronger side. You can see why they're the team fighting for promotion at the top end of League One. But the game has had jeopardy throughout, but it needed a moment of magic, and we found that from Harrison Burrows. It's the cleanest strike you'll see, and it's through defenders. Yes, people will ask questions of the goalkeeper there, but I prefer to praise the quality of the hit.
They'll be tying the dark blue and white ribbons around the trophy here unless Wickham can do something about it. A flick downfield by Vokes, only half cleared away, hammered up into the air by Peterborough's Edwards, up towards the halfway line, and now Mason Clark tracking back. He's fouled Jack Grimmer. Oh, and there's a set two between the two of them momentarily. Referee separates them. Grimmer just has another word with Mason Clark. Darren Ferguson furious, but he's only 2.5 minutes plus added time here away from a hat-trick of victories in the EFL trophy, personally for the Peterborough boss, and it'll be 4 wins from 4 at the National Stadium for Peterborough if they can hold on to their 1-0 lead here in the final. Live on TalkSport 2. Wickham look nearly out of gas. Floated forward by Leahy up the middle. Vokes is the target. Hit by Taylor on the volley! He's done it! Taylor has scored! The substitute with his first touch has hit it into the bottom corner. It's a miracle goal from Dale Taylor for Wickham Wanderers. And there is life in the final yet. Extra time beckons. Dale Taylor hit that so sweetly. Peterborough can't believe it, but Wickham, out of nothing, have drawn themselves level. And what a dramatic finish to the 90 minutes. There were just 90 seconds of normal time left, and it's Peterborough 1, Wickham 1.
Oh my goodness. I thought I'd seen one brilliant left-footed strike. Well, I've just seen another. He's creamed it, hasn't he? It's just a perfect strike on the volley. It's a chip and charge free kick. There's nothing fancy about it. The first contact spins into the air, and Dale Taylor, just outside the D, just decides to try his luck left-footed. It takes one bounce, and he buries it into the bottom corner. 2 quality strikes we've seen in the dying embers of this game.
The contrasted emotions is unbelievable suddenly now. 1-1 in the final. And that's 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes. Wickham reply immediately. 25 seconds of normal time left. Tottenham lead Nottingham Forest by a 1-0. Live on TalkSport in the Premier League. An own goal from Murillo. Meanwhile, Peterborough looking to win it at the second time of asking here. Poku on the outside. Corner of the penalty area. Plays it back to Cipriano here. Darren Ferguson didn't think it was a foul in the build-up to that Wickham goal. Randall's cross deflected behind. 5 minutes of added time. Peterborough win their 15th corner of the EFL Trophy final. It's 1-1 against Wickham. They were ready to celebrate, but Dale Taylor out of nothing has somehow got Wickham level.
Well, it's 15 corners to 2, but the only stat that matters is it's one apiece in goals. Quite remarkable. I want more of this. I do. This has been an absorbing game. I don't mind extra time.
Burrows delivers left-footed though in towards Edwards, headed away by Lonvike. Come back out to that far side, the right, and swung in by Burrows again. Rabbits only uncertain, it's in! Burrows has done it again! This is extraordinary! Rabbits only caught out! What an unbelievable end! And surely that is the end of the story! Harrison Burrows, a cross-come shot, loops over Ravizzoli. We have had 3 goals in the space of 4 minutes, and in stoppage time, Burrows, the Peterborough captain, the man to whom it means the most, has surely settled an epic EFL Trophy final. Peterborough 2, Wickham 1, Burrows is mobbed.
A hero has stepped up to the plate in blue this afternoon. His name is Harrison Burrows. The first goal, I didn't think it was a goalkeeping error. This one, I do think it is. It's a cross. He doesn't mean this, Harrison Burrows. It's a shame in a way that a fluke has won this. But he's looked to fire this in towards the far post. He's got underneath it, and the goalkeeper has lost his bearings, and the ball has just floated over him and into the bottom corner. It's a cross all day long from Burrows, but he won't care. Peterborough fans don't care. They've now got their hands on the trophy, surely.
And so Franco Ravizzoli, the goalkeeper, with the unfortunate mistake for Wickham Wanderers. But Peterborough are surely going to win the trophy now, and they're going to make another change here. Johnson Clark-Harris onto the field in place of Joel Randall. Wickham thought they were heading for extra time, but it's surely Peterborough's day here with 3 minutes of added time to go, Adrian Clark.
Yeah, it's cruel on Ravazzoli, because I think he'd done okay this afternoon, and then there's question marks over the first. Could he parry the strike from Burrows? I thought it was just a brilliant hit. The second one, he's lost his positioning, he's lost the flight of the ball, and it's dropped over his head into the bottom corner. It's a shame that the match is decided by a fluke, but look, Harrison Burrows, what a hero for the Posh.
An incredible end to the game. Peterborough lead by 2-1 with nearly 3 through the 5 added, and Johnson Clark-Harris, who's just come on, has looked to knock it through the middle, gathered by the goalkeeper. Clark-Harris has replaced Randall. 2 minutes to go here for Wickham to save themselves again and send it to extra time. They thought they'd done just that, but it's surely Peterborough who are going to enjoy Wembley glory again. Flicked by Farino, Vokes, edge of the box, angle against him, tackle from Edwards. They're not done yet here, Wickham Wanderers. McCleary standing over it. They've got plenty in the penalty area now, Wickham. McCleary looking to dart infield towards the dead ball line. He goes down, and Wickham getting closer and closer to 3 defeats from 4 at the National Stadium. 90 seconds left. Peterborough United 2, Wickham Wanderers 1, and Harrison Burrows, the captain, has scored twice to surely win it.
Well, he deserves to hold that trophy aloft, doesn't he, Harrison Burrows? What is he feeling right now? I mean, goosebumps all over, I would imagine. What is it about Peterborough United and Wembley Stadium? They just can't lose here.
Something is special about this ground for Peterborough United. There's a minute to go here. I think they're thinking about making one more change, Peterborough, as they pump the ball downfield. Ramoni Critchlow, formerly of Huddersfield, is going to take to the field, I think, in the 40 seconds that remain. Maybe a little more added on because of the Peterborough second goal.
They scored from a chip and charge free kick, and that's what they're trying again here. It's the last throw of the dice for Wickham Wanderers.
Almost everybody's forward. Leahy's got the free kick inside his own half. Other than that, everybody in green and white is downfield. Everybody back for Peterborough, who lead 2-1. Critchlow is going to replace Poku, who's been excellent. Right at the end of the game, some defensive reinforcements for Peterborough United, who are nearly there.
Yeah, he's been brilliant today, Poku. I like watching him. He's an entertainer, and he deserves rapturous ovation.
Big cheer for Poku as he left the field. The 23,000 Peterborough fans are ready to celebrate another Wembley victory. Great noise around Wembley Stadium now. We've had the 5 minutes. Leahy thumping the ball long, added time on added time. Headed away by Critchlow straight away. Dale Taylor comes across. He thought he'd scored the equaliser to send it into extra time. He has won Wickham a throw. Didn't look like it was a Wickham throw, that, but Jack Grimmer will take it. Are they going to send Ravazzoli forward? It's taken short to Butcher. Butcher flights it in. Steer has stayed on his line, and the looping headers onto the roof of the net. Farino was there. Vokes was there. And that surely was the last chance. It was Farino.
Farino's been, gargantuan today. He's been so good for Wickham Wanderers. Probably the man of the match, but I've just seen that on TV, they've given it to Harrison Burrows. They have to, I guess. He scored the 2 goals, but Farino doesn't deserve to be on the losing side, and he almost got a dramatic equaliser right to the death.
6 added minutes played at the National Stadium. Peterborough 2, Wickham 1. Only seconds remaining now. Not a good clearance by Steer, but it's flicked forward by Critchlow into the Wickham half. Brought down by Mason Clark to find Burrows, who's unbelievably on a hat-trick. Oh, and Burrows, who was tackled poorly by Farino, has then ended up lying on top of him, and he looked like he was shouting at him, maybe pushing him towards the ground, and a very unsavoury end to this one. Farino's gone down holding his head. It wasn't a good tackle, a frustrated tackle. Players from both sides pile in. Scott Oldham, the referee, in the best place to see it, and right at the very end of the game, a rather unsavoury end to it.
Yeah, look, I don't think Burrows did that much wrong, in truth. I thought it was an over-aggressive challenge from Farino. We've been singing his praises, but that was a frustrated man making that challenge. Kind of dangerous, really. And
yellow for both.
Yeah, look, Burrows couldn't really get out of the way, but he did pin him on the floor, I guess, but I think I'd have done the same thing.
It surely won't matter for Peterborough now. They lead 2-1. They took the lead 5 minutes from the end. Wickham equalised through Dale Taylor, but in stoppage time, Harrison Burrows with a cross shot. Looks like he's done it. Burrows the scorer of the 2 goals. He is standing over the free kick. Peterborough about to lift the EFL trophy once again. Burrows dinks the ball downfield. It's deep inside the Wickham half. Wickham have surely got too much ground to make up. Flicked by Taylor towards halfway. Peterborough win it back. Critchlow's back pass all the way to Steer. Steer hammers it high downfield. Nearly 8 added minutes have been played here now. Darren Ferguson wants the final whistle. Arms outstretched towards the referee and the 4th official, but still it doesn't go. Ravizzoli clears long for Wickham. Headed away by Cipriano and further cleared by Leahy for Wickham. On the halfway line, Wickham 2-1 behind. Surely now there are only seconds to go here. Scott Oldham does not blow the final whistle yet. Hooked over his shoulder by Leahy. The flick by McCleary to Butcher. Butcher's little touch and Collins with a poor pass, but stabbed away by Knight towards the halfway line. And Peterborough looking to wrap it up right at the end late on here with Mothersill. He's turned away down the right hand side. He's surging forward. He's beyond 3 Wickham players. Nearly beat Perino to it. Perino clears. Nearly 9 added minutes now. Where is this added time coming from? From the referee. Peterborough fans are in disbelief at this point.
This is what stopped.
It feels like it. They'll be jubilant in just a moment. Peterborough supporters. Darren Ferguson, his dad Sir Alex Ferguson, here to watch Peterborough win the EFL trophy. Peterborough United are living the Wembley dream again. EFL trophy winners for 2024. The subs spill out onto the field of play. Some of the Wickham players collapse to the ground. It's 4 wins from 4 for Peterborough at the National Stadium. This is like their second home, and for Darren Ferguson, it's a hat-trick of EFL trophy triumphs in his playing career and his coaching career. Peterborough have ended their Wickham hoodoo. It was a valiant effort from Matt Bloomfield's side, who thought they forced extra time after Dale Taylor had equalised the opener from Harrison Burrows. But how appropriate, the Burrows who loves Peterborough so much, Peterborough United in his blood, at the club since the age of 6. It may have been a cross shot, but every single Wembley winner is a special one, and Peterborough United have won the EFL trophy for 2024. Darren Ferguson, having shaken hands with Matt Bloomfield very sportingly, I have to say, is out there to congratulate his Peterborough United players. Ultimately, despite a valiant effort from Wickham, the better team have probably won on the afternoon, and now away to our left, the celebrations begin for those blue-shirted Peterborough players and 23,000 jubilant fans. What a wonderful springtime afternoon for the club from Cambridgeshire. Peterborough United 2, Wickham Wanderers 1. Peterborough are the EFL trophy winners.